What's up everyone? Welcome back. I hope you are all doing good and are still having fun. Today we're going to take a look at putting together an AOE bombing fireball mage. If it doesn't cause you to lag your ass off or cause your game to just crash, then it is a very fun build to play, and I hope that at least some of you out there get to enjoy it as well. If you are in the Wolcen Discord and you have gone through the content creators channel, then you have probably already seen a build like this. Someone else out there already did a build just like this one. He and I just went about doing it in different ways. His build is more of a glass cannon type of build that is focused on all ferocity, where I have been trying to get a little more survivability out of my builds, so I decided to go with all toughness. Both are great, it's all about personal preference. If I remember correctly, he also took the life leech from spell damage node on the skill tree. It's a good node. I do not personally need that because I have life leech on my new staff. And I mean, with a skill tree this limited at the moment, I guess it was just bound to happen at some point. I'm sure there are even others out there, so kudos to you, man, and for all of you out there who thought up the same thing. It is a lot of fun. I guess great minds just think alike or something. Alright, so like I said, this build is focused entirely on toughness, again for that higher health pool and all resistances score. Resistances on this character, much like my last one, are hovering right around 60%, so I am currently grinding for better gear with this character to get those resistances up higher. We are using the Retaliator node on this character as well, so more resistances also means more damage. The gear that I currently have on this guy is just a gigantic mess. The chest piece I am only wearing because it was the only chest piece I had left in my stash after everything else disappeared, and it is now stuck on me. I keep trying to replace it, but I still haven't found anything that gives more health and more damage than this damn purple thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a horrible chest piece, it just makes no sense for this particular build. Your attacks apply weakness. Now, my first thought was that this was just going to be a wasted stat, unused on this build, but as it turns out, that actually applies to Winter's Grasp. Before I had this chest piece on, Winter's Grasp would freeze and crowd control just like it was supposed to. After I threw this chest piece on, Winter's Grasp literally never freezes anything ever again. So just watch out for stuff like that. Occasionally it does apply weakness now, but no freeze. Converts Force Shield into health is the only reason why my health is so high at the moment, but that is only because I still have on pieces of gear that grant Force Shield. This build should be running entirely health and resistance gear. The amulet is a major pain with its minus 21% to max health, but unfortunately the 60% increased spell damage is the best that I am going to get damage-wise, so it's a trade-off for now until I find something better. I found this helmet right after everything disappeared, so of course I just threw it right on. The increased fire damage and elemental spell cost reduction are great. That plus 32% to freeze chance would be perfect for our crowd control if Winter's Grasp actually still worked with that chest piece on. It is a pretty good helm, except that it has health and force shield, and I need health and resistances. I do have on O'Malley's Lucky Belt for the all attributes and magic find, but I mean the rest of the gear is just whatever I've been able to get my hands on. It still needs work, but I have been looking for plus to toughness, plus to all and or material resistance scores, max health, damage added to spells, elemental damage, casting speed, and since we do have some critical going on, some spell critical chance or critical damage would also be helpful. The staff I am using, I actually just found the other night. It does way more damage than the previous staff I had on did and is 3-socketed. Very important. The sockets allow us to at least put in a Flawed Beryl, which when put into an offensive slot grants a % to willpower regeneration. I don't think that just one gem is supposed to grant this much regeneration. It very well may be a bug. It very well may get fixed at some point in time. But for the moment, one gem socketed into your staff will pretty much take care of all of your resource problems. I also put in 2+ to elemental damage gems because they seem to do the most for me at this point. We really don't have a lot of choice at the moment. The game currently caters to physical and attack damage a lot more than it does to spell and elemental damage. I'm not saying that it is impossible to scale your spell and elemental damages, it's just more difficult. And again, the rest of this gear is just whatever crap I have come across since losing everything. It is junk and definitely needs some work. Alright, so our main skill is Consuming Embers, modified to have increased area of effect, and adds one projectile at an increased cost. Bulwark of Dawn heals us over time and is modified to grant bonus all resistance while inside the area, and grants sacred damage to attacks while standing in the area. I know that it says, quote, attacks, but the damage bonus does apply to spells. Tear of Ethliel drops a frost comet on enemies and is modified to have increased area of effect, and longer creation delay but increased damage. Winter's Grasp, modified to have increased area of effect and increased freeze duration. I don't know why anymore, but hey. And Ether Jump. Jump through the ether to teleport to another location, modified to have increased teleport range and can be cast multiple times at an increased cost. And the skill tree. Alright, starting in Soldier to pick up Toughness, Max Health, and all resistances, and on up into Warlock for some spell damage, willpower regeneration, and plus 100% spells critical hit chance score while willpower is above 75%. Then we head up this way and over into Ranger to get increased projectile damage, projectile pierce every target within a 6 meter radius, plus 1 target can be pierced, and plus 1 additional projectile. Back over this way to finish it all off with Retaliator. If you need Life Leech from spell damage, then that node is right here. Just don't put in the all resistances node here and you're good to go. And like I said, there is a variation of this build out there that uses all ferocity. And if that way sounds better to you personally, then all you have to do is grab the second ring, beep, rotate it clockwise, boop, and then just come up through these ferocity nodes here, doink, 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 and up into Warlock and so on from there. And that is about it. That is our AOE bombing fireball mage. When I started this build, the real question I had was, if fireballs explode when they hit an enemy, will they still explode if they pierce enemies? Will they hit that first guy, explode on him, pierce him, hit the guy behind him, and explode again on that second guy? And the answer is an obvious yes, which is why this character throws out such low crit damage numbers, yet can still clear entire packs of enemies no problem. Now you may or may not have already guessed it, but yes, this character does much, much better against groups of enemies, and definitely suffers a bit when it comes to single target. Either way, I am still able to grind my veteran +4 dungeons, and even if it just takes a little bit longer to kill the elites at the end, we can still do it and get through the dungeons. And that is about all that I can personally ask for at this current point in time. There's only a couple of weeks left until Content Patch 1 drops and we are introduced to Act 1 and the story. The passive skill tree will have almost double the amount of nodes that it has now, and we will all be right back to square one making new builds, but I still can't wait to see it. I am probably only going to do one more build guide, dual pistols, for now. Everything is just so broken at the moment and so many things are still going to change that there just isn't much point in making 15 build videos that are all going to change soon. The 3 that I do post, the Purifier, the Fireball Mage, and the dual pistols, all 3 will get you through the mid-tier veteran dungeons just fine, and since that is where most people seem to be grinding anyways, you're good to go until Content Patch 1 is released. Take it easy, everyone. Find better gear than I did for this character so that Veteran 4 won't seem like such a chore to survive, and hopefully I will catch you all again next time.